Okay, so I have my first guest star.
Yay! Delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me onto your book talk show.
Sure, sure. So yeah, this is my good friend Sasha. We study together. We are struggling through our theses together.
Oh my god, a lot of struggle. A lot of
And
struggle. A lot of resistance too.
yeah,
Just like in the book we're going to talk about.
right. So the book, we're going to talk about Babel. I read this before I started my book talk back in January, February.
And Sarah gave it to me for my birthday, and it was amazing. Like, I devoured this book. Um, it's pretty funny because she invited me onto this book because it's the title of the book is Babel or on the
Fair.
necessity of violence, right? I think they
Mm-hmm.
actually changed the title. Because look, I
Did
don't
they?
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, if you look it up, it says Babel and necessity of violence. Look up, go in your search bar, look up Babel in Google, and it'll say on the necessity of violence. And here on our copy, it says an arcane history. So I don't know if you can read
Okay,
that.
I don't think it's such a dramatic
No, it's definitely
situation
some deep state
because it
stuff
says
going
it
on.
right here
Okay, okay, okay.
on the
Well, I'm
first
just
page.
wrong. Really? Show me, show me,
Yeah,
show me.
yeah, yeah. Here, Babel or the Necessity of
Okay.
Violence in Arcane History. So this is like the
Ah,
short version of the title,
okay, okay.
because who's gonna remember that title?
I was like, they're banning books. Okay, yes.
That would be pretty interesting. Horrible, but interesting if they change the title like that to remove any ideas of revolution.
Yes, yes, because that is the point of the book.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, we're
so,
both American, by the way, so that's relevant for this
yes,
conversation.
yes, yes. We're both from the States. Not living there currently. But I'm from Missouri area, California, Missouri, and now I'm living abroad, and I don't know if I'm going to go back, but that's way outside of the book talk discussion. Um, the book takes place in 1830s, like at the peak of the English Empire. And um, it's basically, if I could describe this book in a word, it would be Harry Potter meets the Bolshevik Revolution. Yeah, and it's this is what got me hooked because I grew up with Harry Potter. I of course like Harry Potter. Harry Potter's like a little bit not revolutionary enough for me, as Wooden Dobby's like, oh, we like being slaves and stuff like that. It's a little bit okay. Dobby doesn't say that. The other house elves say that. I do. I am a Harry Potter fan. Uh, but this one takes that up a notch, and the politics are completely different than Harry Potter.
I just want to jump in here and
Yeah.
say I don't think it's like Harry Potter at all.
Well,
We've
it's
argued about this.
have we?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, I don't remember that,
Because
but
just because it's a school and magic happens there doesn't mean it's a school that teaches all magic to wizards and such. It's just one program that's magic. That doesn't make it Harry Potter.
I agree. I just meant more of like it has a magical backdrop where people are going to like wizarding school. I think one of the big differences from Harry Potter is like not as much time is invested in the characters. It's more plot driven than character driven. So I mean, yeah, it is significantly different than Harry Potter. I'm just trying to hit it with like zinger.
Okay.
But it's Harry Potter plus the Bolshevik Revolution. Trust. Um, Takes place in the 1830s during the peak of the English Empire, and there is magic in the world, and the way the magic works is one of the most interesting magic systems I've ever thought about. What did you think about the magic
I
system?
loved it. I mean, as a polyglot, I speak a lot of languages, so I love that they could make magic out of what was lost in translation.
Yeah. So exactly. The magic is about what gets lost in translation when you translate a word. So anytime I translate a word from English to German or German to English, um, let's think of, if I can think of an example. Some of the meaning of the word is lost. So I don't
Like,
know. This is
do you remember the meaning of Fremschade or something like that?
Fremschade.
Maybe it's not exactly that word, but it's something like
I
that.
don't. I mean, that must be related to Schadenfreude or something. Schade is just like pain or suffering,
Yeah,
but I don't remember
Fremschade or
Fremschade.
something like that is like this discomfort you feel when you see other people doing something embarrassing.
Ah, it's like secondhand
Embarrassment,
embarrassment. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I think
Okay. I
so.
guess we wouldn't have a
We don't have a word
specific
for
word for
that.
that. We should fact check that before this goes
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
We can put fake news in the bottom if it's fake news. Um, The one I was gonna say is that just came to mind. I guess is like it's my favorite word in German. It's Lebensmittel, which is groceries, and I love this word because it's so literal. It really reveals something about the language when you say the word. It literally means life material, Lebensmittel, and when you translate that, I think like kind of the literalness of what you are saying is lost. Grocery doesn't have like this, construction of the smaller words into the bigger one.
Yeah,
The
that's a
way
German feature.
it's a German feature. Um, and the way the magic system works is anytime I don't think you could cast a spell with this Lebensmittel example, but anytime you translate a word and a little bit of the meaning is lost, if you write both words in both languages on either side of a piece of silver, the missing component will manifest itself into reality.
Hmm.
And that is just fascinating
That's the
because
magic. That's
mhm.
how they improve things, stupid things and important things.
Do you remember any examples from the book? There's one
Yeah,
that I
like they
remember.
they made like a cab faster, which is such a stupid use of metal, of this magic. But in
Time is
England,
money.
they have to make the taxis faster. Oh shit, I touched the mic. And they had to make the taxis faster instead of like, you know, improving situations in other countries that, things that are more dire than taxis going faster.
Yeah, exactly.
But things like, okay, making sure a bridge doesn't fall down, maybe that's a reasonable use of the silver.
The only like super specific thing that I'm remembering also a very stupid example where the English word for garden, we're speaking English, so we can kind of skip the sense of that. And then they wrote the Chinese word for garden on the other side of the silver
Hmm.
brick, where the Chinese word for garden, God, I can't remember for the life of me, has this kind of sense and connotation of an enclosed, secluded space meant for
Mm.
meditation. And
I
this
think it was
difference,
Cantonese, by the way, specifically,
okay. Um,
because the main character is from Canton, so I assume it was Cantonese.
he forgets his. Remember
I know that he
the Lavelle? We
forgets.
need to agree on a pronunciation. Is it Lavelle? It's
You can say
Lavelle in my
Lavelle, I can
head
say
canon.
level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe for Lavelle. um. Yeah. He tells the main character. I'm blanking now. What's his name?
Robin?
Robin to forget Cantonese. That only because Mandarin is the official language
Oh,
of
that's
the
right.
Qing dynasty.
Uh,
Um,
I thought it was Ching. God knows.
Qing, I
That
think.
one.
Um, regardless, that he must learn this language,
That's right.
or
I
you
forgot
only
that.
remember this language, and Cantonese isn't that important.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I don't remember. I don't know garden in Mandarin or
Or Cantonese.
Cantonese. So this difference in meaning between garden in English and in Mandarin, if you put it on both sides of the silver, the difference is like the lacking meaning of the secluded sanctuary will manifest into a reality. And if you put this bar in your garden, um, it makes your garden quieter, which is the most useless use of magic of all time.
I mean, it's nice, but it's not worth it.
Right.
Because the silver is something very valuable.
Yeah.
So why are they it's just so wasteful. It's so
Which is the point of the book.
yeah, yeah, it's the point for sure.
The
I'm not how do you say it to say something bad? I'm not contradicting, but I'm not uh
I don't know, shitting on,
criticizing.
criticize.
Shitting on. I'm not criticizing Kwong for this. That was part of the point.
Yeah.
That was very integral to the plot.
Yes. Exactly. So a lot of the people they make like really useless magic bars to just kind of the academy is called Babel, thus the name of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Their
This is like
Hogwarts is named Babel. I'm
no, no,
sorry, I'm going
no.
to bring up the Harry Potter again.
It's just one department at Oxford.
True.
Babel is part of Oxford,
But it's
like
also
one
the
program.
building, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's also one of the
Yes.
buildings. They have their own special magic building with
So
magical.
it's kind of like
Uh,
Hogwarts. Checkmate.
it's a small building. It's not a castle,
Hmm.
but no, I wanted to say that they even have magical wards that keep people from stealing or keep uh, the bad people out or the
Yeah.
wrong people out.
Yeah.
Only Babel students and workers can enter and leave the building.
exactly. Just like how Hogwarts is invisible. No, I'm kidding. I'll stop it. So Babel is this massive tower. It's well protected. And this is how kind of the theme or the main contradiction that governs the plot or sends the plot forward is that since you need to if you want to cast the garden spell, for example, you need to be fluent in English and fluent in Chinese. And the more languages that you know, the more crazy spells you can make. And like you can invent new spells
Yeah.
and the more spells you can use and invent. So it's very important to be able to speak multiple languages, to be a
But
polyglot,
fluently, not the way
but
that
fluently.
I speak all the languages I speak.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, Americans, right?
That's
Ayo.
right.
Um, and um, since it's very important to be a polyglot and very powerful to be a polyglot, England, the Empire of England, starts basically kind of kidnapping kids from the periphery of the
Yeah.
empire. So our main character is from Canton. There's another Remy is another character from Calcutta. Letty, I don't remember. I think she is actually English, right? That's the point. She's
Letty.
from England.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
And then Victoria is like
I
Haitian.
think Victoire, but
Victoire.
yeah, she's Haitian or something, and she was a slave at some point.
Yeah. So Haitian that grew up in France, I
That's
think
right.
is the.
Yeah.
So they start taking people from all around the world, all in different like backgrounds and stuff like that, and bringing them to this Babel school in order to study. And since the silver is so powerful, it basically helps the English Empire, again, it takes place in the 1830s, expand and crucially invade their native lands. One of the points of the book is England is about to invade Canton. Um, and of course, this kind of creates like an awakening of consciousness, and the main character, Robin, who's kind of like, wait, by working in this school, I am helping the English Empire. And then the kids kind of have a revolution, and that's where you get Babel on the necessity of violence. So it's like the Bolshevik Revolution meets, I won't say it again. And that
Yeah.
is kind of the premise of the book. And like I read the first chapter when Sarah gave it to me, and I was like, okay, this is good. I like the magic system. And then I read two more chapters and I was completely hooked. Like I was like, okay, I'm just going to devour this until there's no more book left. And I think I read it in the course of a couple days. Every time I got home, I would read it until I fell asleep, like physically could not
I
continue.
think you read it in like a week. And
Yeah.
it took me weeks because it was such a dense book. It took me time to read it somehow.
Mm-hmm. So, what did you think about it overall? What were its
Um,
strengths? What were its weak points? And what changed for you while you read it?
right. So, um, sorry, I'm distracted because I knocked the mic and now I was thinking about that. I'm not used to doing this with someone else. Oh my God.
No, no worries. We can edit that. We
What did you just ask me? What did I
just
think
your
about
general
it?
opinion. Like, what
Yeah,
were
yeah,
the
yeah.
good parts?
Right.
The
So I read this back in January, beginning of February. So I can't, and this was before my book talk and before my amazing spreadsheet with all of the details. So my review is just a short little paragraph. So I can't say that I remember all that much, but from what I remembered, it was fantastic. I rated it 4.5 stars overall, only knocking it down zero point 0.5. Maybe it should have been knocked down just 0.25 because it was so dense that it might be hard for many readers to get through. And that it did feel like it wasn't an easy read, but it was a very good read. The style was amazing, like difficult at times, but really, really good. Very well written. God, I can't touch my hair because I keep touching the mic. Um, let's see. Then I have plot. Plot was so good. I especially love that it really eased me into the whole colonialism and violence discussion because
mm-hmm,
I'm very much a pacifist.
mm-hmm,
Um, And so I was with Robin. I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we
Mm-hmm.
should just take the money and,
Mm-hmm.
and go with
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, but by the end, I would say I was like Victoire.
Okay.
I was a revolutionist, but I won't say what the other part is because this is the spoiler free part.
Ah, right, right, right.
But yeah, I guess I would do what Victoire did. Um, yeah, and it came up right, like I finished it right after the Mangione case,
Right.
which was the guy who shot the CEO of a health insurance company, right?
United
And
Healthcare, yeah.
yeah, in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a huge, huge um
Free Luigi.
I don't know if I want to call it a moral dilemma or like a big discussion piece in the US and outside. And I was very against it at first and now I'm like confused. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a big change.
That
This
is a big
book,
change. I remember talking to you about this
yeah,
case, and you were quite on board with like, no, that's bad. He shouldn't have done it. We should like
because
hold
I
him
just don't
accountable through
believe
the
in,
system.
you know, vigilante justice that means killing
Mm-hmm.
someone who is indirectly responsible for whatever. But this book made me see things in a different way. So that's why I love it so much. I love books that change the way that I see things.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the atmosphere setting was good. I have never been to Oxford, but it felt very academic, very collegiate.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have
The time where they were giving like their third semester finals and the
mm-hmm.
book was a little, I was
Right.
like, oh man, this is us right now. Yeah, definitely got that academic vibe to it.
Maybe that's why it was hard to read. Or
Well,
like took a long time to
yeah,
read.
yeah, it was emotionally taxing, not from the revolution but from my finals.
Mm-hmm. Then there's characters. I did like the characters, although one thing that we both talked about before. Um, no, maybe I shouldn't say it in this part. Okay, no, I'll say like all of the good characters were in some way diverse,
Mm-hmm.
and all the bad characters were white. Usually men, sometimes women.
Represent.
No,
Gotta get my representation in there.
shut up. um, which I mean, I have no problem with diversity. That's obviously great, but I just don't like the message that it sends when all of the good characters were diverse because then
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
sending like a message that we cannot trust the white man or the white person to be able to empathize with us. They won't understand, obviously, without having experienced it, but they can be on our side or their side. I guess I'm pretty
yeah,
white, but they can be on the right side.
we're allies. We paid attention in history class. Accept us and love us, book talk.
Um, yeah, but other than that, I did love the diversity of the characters and the
I mean, Remy
I don't
was
know.
so awesome. I
I
think
loved
everyone
Rami.
like
Rami
fell
was
in
like
love
my
with Remy.
favorite.
Yeah, reading. Everyone wants to be Remy and
Yeah,
also in a relationship with Remy, you know?
probably.
Yeah, both at the same time.
Yeah, he was cool.
Mm-hmm. The characters were really good, but actually, I think the characters were like second fiddle to the plot
Hmm.
because it was only one book. It's not like Harry Potter where you have all these. I said it's different. Okay, I'm on your thesis for this one. Don't look at me this way. Um, that it's different in that like since Harry Potter's so long, they have a lot of time to invest in the characters and the different like relationships between them. Whereas
Hmm.
in this one, since it's only one book, it's kind of like all four characters together all the time. And they don't really have like side adventures where these guys get to explore their relationships and stuff like that. It's mostly about
Yeah,
the
it
plot.
was about the plot.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Remy is awesome.
Although the main character, it did focus on his character development a lot,
Yes,
Robin.
I agree.
Um,
Robin did come a long way.
and I went along with him.
Nice. That's a sign of a good book.
Yeah, like it didn't feel separate from me at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was definitely proud when he had his what we call radicalization moment. and he kind of saw
Yeah.
everything in a different light, and I was like, oh
But it
yeah.
was really difficult for him because he was pulled in various directions. I mean, yes, it is wrong to steal children from where they are from, um, but he was living in abject poverty. Was that his fault? No, of course not. Was that the British fault? Maybe. Um, so it's always like, okay, they took him from poverty, gave him money, gave him education,
Hmm.
but it was also in exchange for working for them, um for like unlimited loyalty
Yeah, to the empire.
to the empire
Yeah,
and to his guardian
yeah,
level,
exactly.
professor
Like
level.
nothing should be questioned. You must do as we say,
And
and
you must be grateful for everything. And
yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's a very nice arrangement at the end of the day. I mean, like,
no, of course not. But I see why was very confusing.
yeah, for sure. Especially if you're a kid and you don't know better,
Yeah.
and like people are giving you all this stuff when you grew up in poverty, for sure.
Mhm.
And he kind of like realizes what's going on. So that is,
Mhm.
yeah, his,
Although, sorry, I just wanted to say another thing. When he's at Oxford, outside of Babel, everyone is white and male. So it's, I guess I'm used to reading a lot more modern books, but the racism was shocking to me. Of course, it would happen in 1830, but the racism was shocking
yeah,
and the sexism.
yeah. Um, I mean, like some of the characters,
And I'm glad it was in there though.
yeah, for sure, I agree. Some of the characters are like, uh, all of the characters are like routinely discriminated against by pretty much anyone in the faculty and the student body, like anyone
Hmm.
there.
But even
Um,
within Babel, there is discrimination.
yes, yes, exactly. And this is one of the things that gets them to like radicalize. It's not just the abstract idea of England invading Canton, it's also their lived experience within Oxford because everyone is extremely racist to them. And I think actually I would say that they kind of have their realization moment that like the system is wrong from individual experiences than generalizing. I don't know. What do you think about that? Because I guess with shall we switch to the spoilers now?
So automatically, we're at 20 minutes, man.
Yeah.
So it's
We
going to
can
be at
just
least 2 videos now.
yeah, we can just cut stuff down and out later.
Okay.
Um I just want to make a couple more points.
So should I
Really.
switch to spoiler?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Okay.
like
Okay.
now we're
Okay.
doing
So
spoilers.
now Sasha is still here. We are still talking, and we're going to do a spoiler laden video now.
Okay.
So you've been warned. If you have not read the book and don't want spoilers, leave.
If you have not read the book, go read the book. It's
And then
amazing.
come
I
back.
loved it. And then come back
Yeah, yeah.
and watch the rest of this amazing video. That being said, what was I going to spoil?
No idea.
Oh, yes. So, Robin's introduction to there's something called the Hermes Society. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
Hermes Society is basically the underground revolutionary um, force that fights against English imperialism. And his introduction to the Hermes Society is he sees a bunch of people stealing from the school, and it's quite clearly theft. And he
Hold
does.
on.
We do,
Yeah.
we do.
I should have closed the window. Sorry.
It's all right. This too shall pass.
Okay, we're good now.
Okay. So Robin's introduction to the revolutionary movement is from the Hermes Society, where he basically, by chance encounter, finds a bunch of people who are stealing from the university. Um, and he instinctively knows to well, it is the spoiler section. So one of the people is his brother that he doesn't know that he has.
He thinks he
And
sees himself at
yeah,
first.
he's just like, wait, what? Well, I'm not stealing. That's and he doesn't know that he has a brother. It turns out that he has a brother, and they look quite alike. and his brother is stealing, and he instinctively, intuitively begins helping his brother, but he doesn't really have at this time an ideology, I would say.
He also doesn't know why they're stealing at first.
Right, yeah, exactly. So he just kind of helps them out of gut intuition. Um, and then I
I
thought
think it's because
this,
he wants family.
yeah, like he wants,
Like he found out he has a brother. I think he wants to be close to his brother, and that's why he helps him out at first.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And he did also have a feeling like, this is wrong, but it feels right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, from intuition.
Yeah.
And I think that was a pretty like reasonable way to approach it, because I don't think people become radicalized overnight
Hmm.
most of the time. Usually there's something that they can't like make sense of within their network of beliefs, or however you want to put it. And these two things, like the contradiction, the cognitive dissonance caused between by this contradiction, kind of like
Hmm.
leads some other belief shifts and so forth. And this was like, I like that he didn't just suddenly become a revolutionary, full
Yeah.
blooded.
Because it wouldn't make sense, and it wouldn't have taken me along with him.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So it kind of eased you into the water, like you said,
Hmm.
which I thought was good. Um, So, and I think it was actually, I kind of felt like Robin was like Nelson Mandela a little bit, both in his approach to revolution in terms of tactics and
Like
like,
later on, I guess.
yeah, because what he wants to do, spoiler, Infinity Trillion number 61, is he basically takes Babel itself hostage and basically does infrastructure terrorism. He's like, okay, if you don't meet my demands, he says to the government, if you don't meet my demands, we're going to destroy the tower.
Well,
And
first of all, they're going to destroy the bars that upkeep whatever elsewhere
yeah,
in the country.
mm-hmm.
The destroying the tower threat comes later.
Okay, yeah,
After like slowly destroying the bars isn't working.
but it's an infrastructure.
Yeah, it's still
He's
infrastructure.
attacking the infrastructure.
Hmm.
So I think, like, I read the autobiography from Nelson Mandela recently, and I kind of got the same vibe from reading it a little bit, and that at first Nelson Mandela also was like a little counter-revolutionary. He was like, yeah, great thing England is here to like help us learn things, and then he quickly realized, oh, they're like stealing from the country and like not giving any of it back. um so he also went through this process of becoming a radical, and I think their approach to it was kind of also based more on feeling than theory. Like I think Remy has a more theoretical perspective to the revolution. He's like, yeah, the global. Um, he's more about global injustice and
Hmm.
recognizing how the system works and how the system is unjust and unstable. Whereas Robin kind of is like, I feel that this is wrong, you know? So rather than from a theoretical perspective, it's this is something I notice in people too. Some people come to like leftist perspectives from a moral kind of standpoint and feeling, and other people
Like an
come,
intuition, a moral intuition.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And then other people come to leftism because they kind of realize like, oh, capitalism's unsustainable, and it creates crises like the environmental crisis or so forth. And I thought Robin honestly reminded me a little bit of Mandela, both in his tactics of willing to be like an infrastructure terrorist,
Hmm.
and also willing to use violence, but not directed at people, or minimally so.
Hmm.
And then also coming to the revolution from a more moral and intuitive perspective. Um, but yeah, because it's written like this, it gives you a very nice kind of like understanding of where he's coming from, and kind of walks you into the kiddie pool of revolution. And then by the end of the book, it's like holding your head under the deep
Oh
end.
my god.
Yeah, it's kind of like pretty radical for
It did get radical real
young
fast.
adult fiction. I would put this
Is
as
it
YA.
YA?
I would say it's YA.
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
okay.
I'm
Um,
I'm still confused on what actually makes something YA. If it's
yeah,
not
I
romance,
don't
like when
know.
it's romance, it's clear to
Right.
tell. It's
Yeah.
like spice or no spice.
Yes.
And the age, how old is he? Like 18, I guess, because he's going to college.
Yeah, sounds
So
correct.
could be YA or it could be adult, I think. But
Hmm.
whatever.
I was wondering how many Republican states are going to try and ban this book in libraries because it is very not what they want to hear at all.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of like quite radical for what I think it's a YA book. Don't have like a
I don't
definition
know.
either. Um but
I think the author is going to Yale right now, so she's living in the States.
mm,
If that matters at all. Um,
if your kids are needing some revolution, get them this book. It will make them revolutionaries for sure. Yeah. I would say I mean I don't have like a list of different categories
oh, for rating it?
for rating
I
it.
thought we already did that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to throw my stars. I'm going to sprinkle my stars in there. I would give it an 8 out of 10, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. But I also am like holding it against my favorite books of all time, like I'm and the classics and so forth. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not just contextually for what it is. It like everyone should read it. I highly recommend it. It's a great book. Everyone can enjoy it. And thunderous applause to RF. What's her name?
Kwang.
Kwong. Thunderous applause. I loved your story and look forward to reading more. Though I loved the plot, I loved the revolutionary aspect to it, and the one thing I wish could have been a little bit better was everything was perfect. The one thing that I didn't like and really didn't like it because of how much I loved this book was the magic system. Had so much potential, but I think it was a little bit like with the daisy chaining and this different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit underexplored and
Really?
overcomplicated at the same time. Like for example, I can't really remember any match pairs,
I mean, that's
despite
because we don't know the other languages, perhaps.
perhaps, but like I don't know, I don't know. What do you think? Like I think the magic system was both overdeveloped and underdeveloped at the same time. Like the daisy chaining was difficult to understand with the amount of context that was given to us. And then I like honestly because it was so interesting, I just wanted more match pairs and really interesting ones, but it got a
I
little bit
think that would.
technical and I think she
Mm-hmm.
was nerding out in
No,
linguistics
she
a little
totally
bit.
was.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Which is cool, but it kind of
But I think it would have distracted from the story if we got more into the match pairs and the magic. I think she gave enough for us to understand it was a very complicated magic system and maybe it could have been simplified somehow, or maybe she could have given us a way to tell people what the magic is about. Because while I understand it, I struggle to explain it to other people.
mm,
I try to say it's what's lost in translation, and if they don't
mm-hmm.
get that, I'm at a loss of how to explain it.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah.
but I don't think she should have gone more into the magic because that would have been just a distraction from the overall real point of the book, which was about revolution, colonialism,
Yeah.
oppression. That's what was important.
I would
Although I
have,
love
I would have
fantasy, fantasy
wanted.
will get me into it.
Yes, yes.
But
I could have
the,
used a little more,
the
but I see
fantasy
what
got
you're
me into
saying.
it, so
Yeah,
that was enough.
yeah.
Because I'm not going to read the biography of Nelson Mandela. Sorry,
Hmm.
but if Nelson Mandela suddenly has magic powers, then I'll read it.
That would be
Like
amazing.
some kind of historical fiction with fantasy.
All right, we came up with our next bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna write like the sci-fi Nelson Mandela and give him like a mech suit.
A mech suit. What is
Yeah,
that?
like a cyber, like a basically he's walking in like a Gundam or whatever.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? No.
No.
Okay, just think he's piloting a transformer.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just don't know these words, mech and
Yes,
Gundam.
yes,
And
yes.
okay. Speaking of robot bodies, I'm reading a book now about robot bodies. Just by the way.
Death of the author
Mm-hmm.
coming to you on the next review.
Coming soon.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Just wanted you to talk about whatever
Um,
because we always have good chats about it.
yeah, I was thinking, like if each character were a historical revolutionary, which would they be? So I don't know, maybe some of your viewers get some interest from this. So like I said, Robin kind of reminded me of Nelson Mandela. Let me think here. What's his older brother's name? Griffin.
Yeah.
Griffin is the older brother who's in charge of the Hermes Society and is super committed to the revolution. He
He's
would
pretty
be.
mean to Robin
He's
too.
quite mean.
He's
He
only about the Hermes. He doesn't care
he's
about anything else.
exactly. So he's Lenin, who Lenin like singularly lived for the revolution, infamously, and basically like made it his cause in life and focused on this and nothing else. And he was Lenin also had quite a bullying personality.
Hmm.
Um, where he'd kick you if you're down, and then if you're not completely committed to the revolution, call you a piece of trash and so forth. But then he made it happen. So it turned out he put his money where his mouth is,
Yeah, but
like every good communist does.
let's not discuss the merits of Lenin, yeah?
No, 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 no. I'm just saying, like with the singular minded, um,
Okay.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
focus. Okay, Victoria was hard for me to place. I don't have like a specific category
She
for
was
her.
me.
She was you. Yes,
Yeah.
she is Sarah,
Oh
our
right,
favorite
I can tell the
revolutionary.
spoiler now. Why I liked her so much, or why I said that I kind of became like her, I came to her side, is because I would fight for the revolution maybe, but I would not risk my life. That's where I draw the line. When the tower was going down, um, Robin stayed to cause the explosion destruction, whereas Victoire left. They talked about it. They were cool about it, but yeah, she left. She said, "No, I want to be happy. I want to live a life. I want to have a future." So she left before the tower went down.
But I think she did risk her life. She just didn't like commit to dying for the
I
cause,
guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Um, but yeah, okay.
Because it was like when the tower went down, it was everyone inside is going to die 100%.
Yes, right. Um, so I didn't really get like a sense for her ideology or character. I think she was like less focused on in the book
Yeah.
as well. Um, but her kind of defining characteristic, or in her experience, was that like since she was hanging out with Letty, who was kind of the counter-revolutionary girl, was the counter-revolutionary,
Yeah. I
not
mean,
kind
she
of.
seemed to go along with what they were saying,
Yeah, but
kind of,
didn't really.
but in the end, she fucked them over. It was so sad.
So that makes Letty Karl Kautsky for.
I don't even
Uh,
know this person.
he is one of the founding members of the SPD, and
Mm-hmm.
he kind of has a notoriously bad rep in revolutionary circles because he's called the betrayer of the revolution.
Well, that's what Letty was.
Yes, exactly.
Ah.
So in World War One, the SPD was asked to fund the German military, so the German military could go to war, and basically all the socialists of the world were not supposed to vote for war
Mm-hmm.
because it's workers against workers, not in the interests of the capitalist class. So it's not good to fund your military. And they were all like, yeah, let's go to war. So he's kind of seen as the betrayer of the revolution in that sense, or the SPD is. Um, and um, let's see, Victoria. I had one thing since she was like always isolated and by herself. Who would she remind me of? I have to think of this.
But
Um,
she was the one who had the least advantage because she was a woman and she was colored.
yeah, for sure. Um,
Like Rami and Robin were colored, but they were men.
mhm.
Letty, she was English, white, but she was a woman. So if she dressed like a man, she'd be golden. If Robin hid his face, he was good. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Victoire couldn't do any of that.
Victoire. Yeah. Um, yeah, and she had to hang out with counter revolutionaries all the time, which is never fun. So I don't know if I have a specific allegory or person to point to in the real world for her, but yeah, sucks to.
What about Rami? I want to know who Rami is.
Rami. Yeah. So Rami struck me as very international in terms of like his thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Super committed to the revolution, also very international in his thinking, and these two things together kind of
What do you
made
mean by international in his thinking?
like he thinks about the geopolitical effects of things.
Yeah.
He's concerned about Canton being invaded despite him not being from there, for
Yeah.
example. So he has a large international solidarity within him. And he's extremely committed to the revolution, kind of like Griffin, but maybe not as much.
Yeah, not as
So
cuckoo about it
this international stripe
or harsh.
and this international emphasis and like again strong commitment and heavy intellectualization, not just the feeling but like the analysis of the system, led me to kind of think that Remy was like Trotsky, who also had a large um, uh, idea of international solidarity, and you can't just have revolution in one country because then all the other like interests of the rest of the world will gang up against that country to put it back into the previous system because they don't want the system to be exported. So you need to have like a worldwide revolution and have international solidarity really
Mm-hmm.
linked up behind that. So, so yeah, Griffin is Lenin. Robin, the main character, is Nelson Mandela. Shout outs to Robin. I really loved him for this. Um, Remy is Karl Kautsky in a way that's doing Karl Kautsky even
Remy?
dirty. No, sorry, Letty. If I
Yeah, okay, Letty.
Letty is Karl Kautsky. Victoria, we need to analyze. Let me know what you think Victoria is and Victory is in the comments. And yeah, Remy is Trotsky. That would be my fun little bit on that.
Okay, putting my Ouija board mug up
Nice,
while you're
nice,
talking about very
nice.
serious politics.
Yeah.
Um, do you want to? What was it that happened? Um, my brain is foggy, but I'm thinking something about what happens and when they go to China and they see the opium and we see everything is connected, like how Britain
Mm.
actually caused all the problems that leads them to
Mm-hmm.
have the advantage.
Um.
Do you,
Oh, sorry.
do you remember what I'm talking about?
Um. Basically, yeah, like there's some issue in Canton
It's Victoire,
regarding
by the way. Sorry,
Victoire. Okay. Um. Never know how to pronounce French words. I'm
Victoire.
blaming this on French, not on me. Um. Yeah. There's this part where they go to Canton in order to basically restore diplomatic relations to some extent. The diplomatic
Yeah.
relations kind of get scuttled, like rather than they basically want the right to sell opium. This is regarding the Opium War historically in China, where
Mm-hmm.
England was like, no, we're going to invade you because you're illegalizing opium and we have the right to sell opium to your
Yeah, but
population.
like opium was hugely debilitating to the population. Like anyone who was getting addicted
Oh, I think it's
was
perfectly reasonable to outlaw. I'm not
no,
on
no.
the
I'm
I'm
just
not on
in
the
case
imperialist
nobody
side.
knows about the
Okay, okay,
opium
okay.
situation that happened in China. Like I'm
Yes.
explaining that it wasn't like weed where you smoke weed and not much happens. But like when you smoke opium, it's highly addictive,
Yeah.
and it's I think it's how Robin's family lost their wealth actually.
Oh, that would be an
Like
interesting callback. I
one of
didn't
the
pick that.
family members,
Right.
it was kind of vaguely mentioned,
Okay.
or
Yeah, I think no, you're right. I
yeah, one of
remember
the family
him.
members got addicted on opium and started gambling, I think,
Yes, yes, yes.
and then lost the wealth. The family actually used to be very wealthy,
Yeah.
apparently, but when we find Robin in the beginning of the book, he is super, super poor, although he curiously has an English tutor who lives with them, which
Hmm.
was sent by who knows who. I think Professor
Hmm.
Lovell.
Lavelle, that dirty guy.
So it was the whole thing was orchestrated from the start with Robin, and also the situation in China was created in such a way that Britain would have the greatest advantage. They created an opium, uh, um, not endemic or pandemic, an opium.
Uh, like addiction, craze. I don't know. Yeah.
What is it called? Like we have in U.S. the narcotics. Never mind. They created
Mhm.
this
They created this, and then I think importantly to the plot as well, it'll come to you when you like are sleeping
I
tonight.
know it's gonna
You're gonna be
the word.
um
No, but one more thing.
yeah.
When we find Robin in the beginning of the book, his whole family is dying from cholera,
Hmm.
and the professor comes and like rubs a silver
Bar, like
bar,
a
yeah,
healing
silver
bar, yeah.
bar on him. And he's like, "What the fuck is happening?" Well, it's magic. He doesn't know that yet, but it's magic, and he's saved from cholera. He is cured.
Hmm.
But Professor Lovell was already in Canton. He knew the cholera was spreading, and he had like placed a tutor in Robin's house. So he purposefully killed Robin's family so that he could take Robin away after having trained him in English so that he would have a good
And
grasp of Chinese languages and of English to be able to work for him in Babel. Oh, and also he was his father.
yeah, CD guy, CD character, and
Yeah.
that also makes like
And when he killed his mother, Robin confronted him about that, and Professor
oh,
Lovell
did
said,
he?
"Yeah."
Oh, did he?
And Professor Lovell said, "Jesus, Robin, she was just some chink." And he's like, "But Professor, I'm just some chink." Like,
Yeah.
as if that's an explanation. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the internet, but I'm obviously criticizing this. Um, Gosh. And then he kills his father,
Hell yeah.
who
One of the
who
most
never
brilliant points in
accepted
the
him
book.
as his
Yeah.
son.
One of the
But
most
yeah.
brilliant points in the book. Um,
And Griffin is also another bastard of a
oh,
Chinese woman, a
but I want to
different
say
Chinese
this
woman.
also makes it so when you were saying, like, oh, the garden metal is so stupid, we were talking about how stupid the garden spells are with the
Yeah.
silver. Because every spell costs material. Like, you have to use a silver bar to do it.
Yeah.
So the trains go faster using metal. But like very stupid charms exist for like making your garden quiet or anything that you want. You can spend money and get a stupid charm that does it. And I think that's what makes like living in Oxford so brutal for Robin, is because every time he sees one of these silver bars, he's like, "This could have saved my mom," you
Yeah.
know. Um, and it's like it
Yeah.
makes the contradiction of just like, oh, we're doing this for profit rather than helping other people, like so blatant in the course of the book. Regarding the opium war, coming back to this topic, basically what happens in the dock is the English want to kind of restore diplomatic relations
Mm-hmm.
to the opium trade, like so they can sell opium, but really they're not even interested in that. They want the talks to go wrong, so they have a pretext to
That's
invade.
right.
Yeah, sneaky
That's
bastards.
right. I forgot about that. And why do they want to invade?
I mean, because the government of China has a lot of silver,
Right. I just remembered
and
when I yeah,
yeah,
it
so it
was
all
to
goes
get the
back to the
silver.
material analysis of like who has the silver and how can they get more silver in order to expand their
Yeah.
empire more.
Like they need to go to these other countries that they've colonized, or maybe not colonized, but they have some power there
Hmm.
to get the silver and also to get the native speakers.
Exactly. It's the two things that keep
So
Babel
they get
running.
all of the benefit, but they have none of the resources in themselves,
Yeah,
except the
exactly.
books, I guess. The books of previous match pairs and that kind of thing, but that's it.
Yeah, not much. I mean, not
Dictionaries.
much is going to.
Yeah.
They're interested in dominating Canton, or it was not Canton. Yeah, they're interested in dominating China to
Mm-hmm.
have access to the silver bars, and we all know that those are going to go to Oxford to make little garden charms too,
Yeah.
rather than. I mean, some of it might stay, but like most of it's
No,
gonna.
it won't.
Yeah,
Why would
yeah, yeah.
they?
Exactly,
Why
exactly.
would they?
To
They've
enforce,
invaded.
to keep the population under control, you know. Um, yeah. So it's a really good story. I think it has good materialist analysis. I think it has really well written plot, interesting characters that get you really invested in the conflict. Um, and it's just a fascinating read. And I think a lot of authors can learn from this author in terms of making things both exciting and it's a bold book, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of dealing with classic ideas, but ideas that I think a lot of people would be scared to touch, to be honest. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really refreshing to see kind of like this classic question of revolution or reform that's so frequently talked about in like leftist circles actually make its way into like a fantasy book and really be explored in this context, which I just thought was very cool and
Mm-hmm.
engrossing.
But the fantasy part, it just abstracts enough so that it's, at
Yeah,
least in my opinion, easier to digest, easier
yeah,
to understand. Like,
exactly, exactly.
I don't know that much about history or politics. I know the basics, but not
Yeah,
a lot. But this book allows me to understand conceptually
yeah.
what the issues are. And that's the kind of fiction that I love to read.
Yes, she did a fantastic job of this. Of just like,
And she eases you in,
yeah,
but at the end,
she's not.
she's not vague about it. She is
Yeah.
blunt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's good because it makes it
Yes, it's a
very
bold book.
clear.
It's a bold book,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I will
It might
give
get
the
banned,
poppy word. Yeah,
but
I'm curious about this. Really, I'm
yeah,
curious.
I'm laughing, but I'm not happy about this.
Sometimes that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah. My favorite books get banned. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to give Poppy Ward a chance. That's the one I haven't read actually. I read Yellowface and I've read Babel.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
probably, since it's a trilogy,
mhm,
I'll probably put it like for later, but this is an author I'm going to return to for sure.
mhm.
Right now I got to finish my thesis. I'm stuck in that third semester or whatever they go through in Babel.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
I think we hit on everything.
Yeah, we talked for a fucking hour.
Let's
There's gonna
go.
be so many videos.
We
It
made
has to
some
be.
content. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I
All
didn't even
right.
talk much.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me, Sarah. Hope to come back on Sarah's Book Talk Corner. Yes.
Yes.